Hi, Jamie McIntyre here, CEO of 21st Century Education. I'm really excited to talk to you about an opportunity that for what we've been planning now for over 15 years. For those who are not familiar with 21st Century, it was started 15 years ago, and I had a dream and a vision to update and radically update and revolutionize the world's education system. And that seed of where that idea come from went all the way back to when I was studying accountancy at university. It was my first year studying. I was the first sibling in my family, one of six, growing up in a small country town on a farm, to go off to university and college. And I was studying accountancy, and I don't know if you can relate to this, but for me, I didn't really know what I wanted to do at that age, and many people don't. But I was pursuing a career mainly because my careers advisor at school told me, if you want to make lots of money one day, Jamie, go and be an accountant. And so I was studying accountancy, but really for me, I was deeply frustrated at university, not so much from what I was learning, but more so from what I wasn't learning. I was ambitious and really wanted to go places in life. I didn't want to settle for mediocrity. I believed there was a great world out there to be explored and to live life to its fullest. And I was deeply frustrated. I was paying my own way through university, and it was very expensive for me to do that. I'd sold my car, I'd borrowed money, I'd saved up money, and living away from home, going to uni, it was incredibly difficult. And I remember saying to my mother towards the end of the first year of accountancy, I said, "Mum, why isn't there a university that would teach you how to be successful in life?" And little did I know that planted the seed that less than a decade later led me to creating a 21st Century Education. Once I'd achieved a lot of financial success, I was able to invest my time and money to saying, why don't we have a modern day education? Because when I did some research, I discovered that what we learned at school in the 20th century, for most of us went to a 20th century school, is actually a 19th century outdated education system that was created in the industrialization era, the time in the world where many people were moving to cities to work in factories and factory production lines, and to, the idea you could work for the government or a big company and work for 40 years of your life and retire, and the company would take care of you, or the government. And back in those days, they needed people to conform and follow the rules and be good employees. And you show up 9 to 5, and it's a bit like school. They have the alarm, the hooter goes off to go to class. They're already training you, conditioning you at a young age to report to class, to show up on time. And which is great if you want to be a good employee, but the challenge is we don't live in the 19th century anymore. We obviously live in the 21st century, and our education system has struggled and failed to really keep up. And when I become successful by studying my first mentor, millionaire mentor, and the things that he taught me to become financially successful, to become successful and choose the right career, and to grow companies and businesses. None of these things I was taught at school. How to master my emotions, etc. And I realized a lot of these things are actually common sense, practical, strategic, and intelligent strategies. And every one of them that I learned off my millionaire mentor and other mentors I become to study could have been taught to me at school. So I asked that very question. Why is it that at school and university we don't actually get to access a modern day 21st century education for life that would truly prepare you emotionally and financially for today's rapidly changing world where there is no job security? You can't go and say, would you say to your children, here's what I want you to do, go and get a good education and hope to get a job with one company for all the rest of your life? I mean, you're not going to say that because you know it's not likely to happen. There's going to be many people who enter careers that are leaving school today that haven't even been invented yet. Industries come and go in the space of a few short years, let alone companies, and we've seen that. But with rapidly changing world is an opportunity for us to really get a modern day education and take advantage of the massive opportunity that exists in the world today. There has never been a better time in history that I believe for the average person to have such an abundant, prosperous life. Yet many people are scared and living a fraction of their potential and are worried about this changing world when we should be educated better and know how to take advantage of opportunity. And that's one of the things with 21st century education, that why it's been extraordinarily successful. Over the last 15 years as an educator, we've reached now over 550,000 people from over 17 different countries. It's really resonated a lot of people, in particular in my first book that I wrote, What I Didn't Learn at School But Wish I Had. When it become a bestseller, it's spread around the world now. I can go to many countries overseas, whether it's Russia or India, England and countries, or even South America, and I have people coming up to me saying, look, I've read your book, and it's developing a fan base and a following around the world. And it really I say that to not to impress you, but impress upon you that the messages that the strategies also that changed my life are resonating with other people, because many people say to me, that's true, why weren't we taught more at school? Why weren't we taught the key strategies and strategic intelligent thinking that will enable us to outperform in today's world? So the good news is 21st Century Education was born 15 years ago, and it's been an extraordinarily successful journey at helping so many people. And our goal, we're only just getting started. We want to reach 1 million people by 2020, 10 million by 2030, and over 100 million people by 2050, because we think there's no greater way to help reshape our country and the world than providing a modern day real life education taught by those that have a PhD in results, as opposed to perhaps school or university where it's taught often by people that just have academic degree and have a PhD in theory, when the reality in the real world demands results, and we have to properly prepare ourselves for a rapidly changing world. Which leads us to this conversation today, is what we've finally done at 21st Century Education after 15 years is the majority of people that have enrolled into our programs, whether it's our online programs, our home study programs, our live events, have done it because they want to learn. You know, that's the real, I want to learn and develop skill sets. If you said, did a survey at university, or most universities, and say, are you here to predominantly learn, or really, are you here just for a piece of paper that will help you get a higher paying job? You'd be surprised that I believe more than 80% of people are at university primarily for a piece of paper, a certification, a degree. And even though that's important, the reality that was removed, then what is the value of that education? Most people wouldn't show up. Actually, to prove my point, Harvard and Stanford and many, even Melbourne University, many universities around the world are making their courses, many of their courses online available for free. And it's very popular in Africa now. A lot of African students that perhaps could never afford to go to university, or people just don't have the time either. They can now do many of these university courses for free, but I guess the catch is, they don't get a degree or certificate with it. Therefore, what the universities are really saying, without this piece of paper, this degree, our education is effectively almost worthless. But with a piece of paper, what we can give away for free online, we can charge $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 in order to get a degree. So a degree and certification still carries weight in this world. And what we decided to do at 21st Century Education, I know most people enroll because they really want to learn, and what we're teaching them is by people with a PhD in results. I mean, some of our guest lecturers that we've had at 21st Century, if you're not familiar, I bring in some of my mentors and people that have had a big impact on my life that I've learned a lot, such as Sir Richard Branson to teach business, the Virgin founder, billionaire founder. Could Sir Richard perhaps teach from a position of results as opposed to theory? There's a lot you can learn off a billionaire. We bring in people who have had amazing overachievers, such as perhaps Arnold Schwarzenegger. Is Arnold able to talk about how to succeed, not just in one industry and dominate a sport such as bodybuilding, but how do you take that skill set and be successful in business like he was, and made his first million in real estate in the United States. Then he went to become, and he wrote a goal to be the highest Hollywood paid actor, and he achieved that. Then he wanted to go into politics and become the governor of the 8th largest economy on the planet in California. And if it wasn't for the laws preventing immigrants in America from becoming president, a very good chance he would become the president of the United States. So these people have life experiences, and these are some of our guest lecturers, or say Tim Ferriss, How to Design Your Life, New York Times bestseller, 4-Hour Workweek and 4-Hour Body. Tim, as an example, teaches at Stanford and Princeton and a lot of these top universities. Also a lecturer at 21st Century. Randy Zuckerberg, worked for 9 years for Facebook executive, sister of Mark Zuckerberg. Could she share some insights of how to grow a rapidly growing company? Mark Boris, the celebrity apprentice in Yellow Brick Road in Australia. Ruslan Kogan, who's built a $200 million empire before he was 30. So I could go on, and then we bring in some leading sports stars such as Danny Green, 4-time world champion boxer, and others. So for people that have really produced results. So I share that with you, is that the quality of education you can access at 21st Century Education, I think, is quite remarkable. And the impact it can have on people's lives is extraordinary. So what I'm excited about also now is that we've released a certification. You will now be able to do our Cornerstone program, become a 21st Century Education home study member. And you'll be able to sit an exam, online exam that you can do in your own time, and if you get a 90% or higher mark, you can become certified with a 21st Century Education certification. And why is that important? Well, because let's say you want to get a better paying job, or a higher paying job or promotion. So many companies are looking for quality people, and I know in my companies we've employed, over the years, literally 1,000 people, up to 100 people at a time. And as an employer, we look for people, not just academic degrees that they might have. What we're predominantly looking for is self-initiative. Someone has shown self-initiative. They've gone to a Tony Robbins course. They've invested into personal development. They've invested into other seminars and education type events. Then we say, well, this person's willing to invest in their own education. It shows initiative. It shows a certain mindset and psychology. It shows that someone's more likely to perform in their role. And that's what people look for. So many companies complain that they have to do mostly on-the-job training because they're not trained properly at university or school. And it's a major frustration for corporate America, corporate Australia, and why corporations want this type of education taught at school and university, because we want a real-life MBA. Is that true? So as a result of that, you'll now be able to get certified in 21st Century Education. You'll be able to add it to your resume, and you'll have that option. So when you enroll into our program, you can just do it to learn, but you can also pay a small additional fee if you wish, sit the online exam, and if you pass, you'll be able to have a 21st Century Education certification. And what we'll be doing in 21st Century Education is creating brand awareness out there for companies, etc., to look out for and recognize if someone has a certification in the 21st Century Education, then they will possess certain skills that perhaps others haven't, because they haven't learnt these things at school or university. Obviously someone that to be certified is going to have to pass emotional intelligence skills and develop emotional intelligence to be more emotionally stronger, more emotionally effective in their personal life, but also in their career. They're going to have to be financially intelligent. They're going to have to learn how to take responsibility and accountability for their own finances and understand financial management and financial strategies. They're going to learn time management skills to go through and complete these modules, how to be results-driven, purpose-orientated, and action-focused. And these critical time management techniques are so invaluable to employers. And many people will do this course also not because they want a better CV, but because they want to be able to retire from their jobs and do other things that is more effective for them. So as a result of all these things, we're proud at 21st Century to now enable anyone from anywhere in the world, if they pass the online exam, to be instantly certified in a 21st Century Education. If this is something that you feel will add value to your life, not just from the enormous array of strategies and concepts that you will learn by doing the education, but the opportunity to be certified and have that recognized and improve your job prospects, or improve your prospects of getting a pay rise or promotion, or an opportunity, whatever you're looking for. And then take advantage of this, get yourself certified with a 21st Century Education, and welcome to the 21st century. Develop the skill sets and the training that will help you have an education for life. And I look forward perhaps one day seeing you at one of our live events. If you do the test, I wish you well, and I look forward to ensuring you become one of many that will be certified in a very valuable 21st Century Education.